Well, here we are, 500 subscribers. That is insane to me, and frankly, all I can say is thank you. I know I put a community tab out on what I should do for this milestone in the video How I Became an Enthusiast 1, but I realized my story is insanely boring. So I went with the video in second place. This is my top 25 favorite roller coasters. A quick note before we begin, I rank rides on how much I enjoy them, so this isn't a ranking of the most intense coasters or the best layouts, it's a ranking of which coasters I like the best. Now, we have a lot to cover in this video, so let's jump right in. Kicking off the list is Batman the Ride, more specifically the installation at Six Flags over Georgia. This is an intense B&M invert with some of the craziest forces on any ride out there. The best way to describe it is it feels like it's trying to rip your legs off. The 24th spot goes to Mystery Mine at Dollywood. This ride gets a lot of hate for the roughness, but if you put your head slightly forward, you can enjoy the forces and theming. Also, the finale is one of the best ways ever to end a coaster. And the 23rd spot is Griffin at Busch Gardens, Williamsburg. Although this layout is basically the same as SheiKra, I found its run a lot better and provide a much more intense ride experience. Great airtime, cool gimmick, nice ride. Staying in Williamsburg, Apollo's Chariot is number 22. This was B&M's first ever attempt at a hypercoaster, and it's really solid. I love the terrain usage, and like every other B&M hyper, the float airtime is some of the best in the world. The 21st spot goes to Valravn at Cedar Point. I already made a review on this ride, but basically, it's good. Not the best in the world, but definitely fun. And the 20th spot now is Twisted Cyclone at Six Flags over Georgia. This is another one I've already reviewed, but basically, it was my first RMC. I've ridden better RMCs nowadays, but it's still a small, punchy coaster that I always say when I'm in the park. 19 is Maverick, and guess what? I already reviewed this coaster. My thoughts were the layout is one of the best in the world. Crazy forces, fun launches, and great airtime. The only thing holding it back is its restraints, but it's still a good ride. The 18th spot goes to Verbolten at Busch Gardens, Williamsburg. This is a great example of me ranking my coasters and how much I enjoyed them. I didn't watch any videos of this ride beforehand, and when the surprise hit, it genuinely scared me. It's a great ride, not just for families, but for everyone. Number 17 is Over Georgia's elite B&M hypercoaster, Goliath. This has had to be one of the best B&M hypers in the world, and as someone who's only ridden two, it's my favorite right now. It does everything Apollo's Chariot does, but better. And you can't talk about this coaster without talking about those crazy ejector hills at the end. In the 16th spot, we have Big Bear Mountain at Dollywood. This ride's forces aren't exactly good, but the whole experience from the first launch to the brakes is just a great time. It does what a good coaster should and puts a smile on your face. Coming in at 15 is Cosmic Rewind at Epcot. This was probably the most underwhelming coaster at Disney World simply because my expectations were so high. It's still a fun ride, but I think I need to go back on it to really appreciate it to its full potential. The 14th spot goes to the Incredible Hulk coaster at Islands of Adventure. This is old school B&M at its finest. Great inversions, great forces, and a really unique tire-driven launch. The theming is great, and overall, I just love this ride. Unlucky number 13 is Gatekeeper. Basically, this coaster is smooth, this coaster is fun, and this coaster does what it should. Is it the greatest ride in the world? No. But is it a great ride that I would ride over and over? Definitely. In the 12th spot is Tron Light Cycle Run, my favorite Disney coaster. I love the theming, the launch is powerful, the effects are really cool, and the motorbike, while a weird position, is a great and unique way to ride a coaster. Also, this ride just looks so cool at night. Staying in Florida now, number 11 is Hagrid's Magical Creatures Motorbike Adventure. This was my number one coaster for a long time. It's more than just a ride, it's a journey. The 7 launches mean the coaster goes on forever, and the theming, all I can say is wow. Starting off our top 10 is Cheetah Hunt at Busch Gardens, Tampa. This is one of those rides that just makes you smile. I mean, every element, while not crazy, is fun, and you'll see more later that's what I really love in a coaster. In the number 9 spot is the only international coaster on this list, Stealth at Thorpe Park. This is a crazy short coaster, but what it does is insane. It's a shock of adrenaline like nothing else. And until I ride Hyperion, this is my favorite coaster outside of the US. The number 8 spot goes to Thunderhead at Dollywood. When I got off this ride for my first time, I was in actual shock. I'd heard this coaster was good, but nobody told me it was that good. It felt like every element was trying to kill me, and for a wooden coaster, it was surprisingly smooth. In 7th place, we have Montu at Busch Gardens, Tampa. This is my favorite B&M, and for a good reason. It's intense, long, fun, and overall just a great coaster. It shows what B&M is capable of, and makes me excited to get one more in the future. Now going to the other Busch Gardens park, Pantheon is number 6. This is my favorite Intamin Blitz, and although it's not considered the best Blitz in the world, it kinda has everything you'd want. Airtime, inversions, multiple launches, and it goes forward and backwards. Starting off the top 5 is Air Force 1 at Fun Spot Atlanta. This is where we start to see RMCs really take over the list. This coaster has some insane airtime, the pacing is great, and although it's short for an RMC, it packs a punch. In the 4th spot, we have Lightning Rod at Dollywood, as in original Lightning Rod. This is another short but insane coaster. It uses its terrain great, and it has great airtime. Alright, ready for something really controversial? Number 3 is Steel Vengeance at Cedar Point. I know, I said it. It's a really good RMC with some great length, but if I could just rip the band-aid off, it's not my favorite coaster at the park, because in the number 2 spot, we have Millennium Force. Remember earlier when I said I rank coasters and how fun they are? Well, flying at 92 miles an hour is, in my opinion, a more fun experience than getting tossed around by Steel Vengeance. But it's not my favorite coaster in the world, because that would be Iron Gwazi at Busch Gardens, Tampa. Yeah, it's been over a year now since Iron Gwazi has held the title as my favorite coaster, and for good reason. From the top of the lift to the brakes, it's about as perfect as a coaster can get, and I don't see anything topping it anytime soon. Well, there we have it, my top 25 favorite roller coasters in the world. Once again, thank you so much for 500 subscribers. And hey, if you aren't subscribed yet and you want to join the journey to 600, I hope you will consider doing so. I have tons of new videos in the works that I can't wait to share. Anyways, thanks for tuning into this extra long video, and have a great day.